In the forests of Thailand, an indigenous Maniq hunter stalks a monkey. As a member of one of the country's last hunter-gatherer groups, he's carrying on a centuries-old tradition, one that faces an uncertain future. Like many indigenous communities around the world, the Maniq face change. The Thai government made their forests a conservation zone, and laws now limit private land ownership and make hunting illegal. As Thailand develops, the Maniq people must increasingly choose between their traditional nomadic lifestyle and a modern one with access to education and healthcare.
Having a house is important because a structure like this breaks down easily, so we can't live in it for long. I want a house or a hut that I could occupy for a long time.
For centuries, the Maniq have roamed the Malay Peninsula, moving with the seasons and searching for food. Today, most of their community has moved to the edges of forests, closer to mainstream Thai society.
For the Maniq people, we've entered a transitional stage. We're transitioning from the traditional Maniq who live off the forest to now we're not like that. We're living a new way of life. We send our kids to school and expenses follow. So we want land where we can make a living out of it.
Maniq hunting has transitioned from a main food source to an important cultural practice. And while studies suggest it is sustainable and helps biodiversity, it's now barred by environmental protection laws.
It's
not just the Maniq people. Everybody needs to abide by the law equally. Everyone needs to adhere to the 2019 Wildlife Conservation and Protection Act within the Wildlife Conservation Area, which doesn't permit collecting forest resources, hunting, or encroaching an area where one doesn't have an ownership of.
There are loopholes. Indigenous communities in Thailand can receive 20-year permits to use and harvest the land they live on. While some argue this makes them temporary residents on their own land, others see it as a reasonable compromise.
They may not get ownership of a land, but they will get rights to utilize the land, which will also apply to their descendants. They can use it according to their traditional way of life, and at the same time, they'll help preserve the land. This way, they can live inside the conservation area. This is the way out. Giving them ownership of a plot of land is not the solution.
The debate over the rights of small indigenous groups to harvest their land is part of a much larger debate over indigenous rights happening in the region. In Indonesia, mining is polluting the Hangana Manyawas rivers. And in Taiwan, widely popular laws on gun ownership, conservation, and animal rights conflict with laws protecting traditional indigenous ways of life. And while the issue is a global one, for those it affects, it's deeply personal.
I want to continue living in the forest, but I've already come down to study and I have to move forward. I want my mom to be happy. I want her to have income.
As Duan and others in her community transition to a different way of life, they join indigenous groups all over the world, navigating changes brought on by a distant central government, even as they navigate the land they once called home. Chang and Zalan for TaiwanPlus.